So, I want to quickly get into something and talk about something really quick. And it's about your thoughts. Who think like me? I wonder who thinks like me. Like years ago, I had a dream after I had my baby. I had a dream that I met my other self. And she was walking like a native or something like that. She was like some type of princess or native or something like that. She had on the jewels and she was walking, and she I actually cracked a stick because I was peeking at her, watching her in the bushes, and when she heard the stick crack, she turned and she looked at me. So when I saw her, I got up and showed her me because I couldn't believe that I was looking at me. And she stopped and she looked at me, and we both looked in each other's eyes with like a oh my god, like is this real? Like is this me? And I came back to my body. It was like astral projection, like these beams of rays around me where I couldn't breathe on my way back to my body. And when I got back to my body, I was aware that I just came from somewhere else. And I started tapping all over my body to see if I was alive. And I ended up touching my baby, and I looked to the side because I didn't realize that I had a baby. I was like, oh my gosh, like I got a baby. And that's just my experience. So I wanted to people think like me because um, what dawned on me is that I end up watching Wendy Williams. I end up watching Wendy Williams, and in the Wendy Williams show, she does this look-alike um, thing that she does, and she posts up pictures that look like celebrities and regular people in their natural life. And it dawned on me just now, oh my God, my second self do exist. And call me crazy, call me whatever you want, but you have a second self. You have an older self. You have a younger self. You're being reborn someone else. You're doing things that you're supposed to do. So your life path and your life journey, you are placed back on this world to redo it all over again. It's not a coincidence that these people look just like you. And how I know, because it brought me into a remembrance where I took a picture with a gentleman who looks just like my dear friend J Fifth that passed away. And this guy looks identical to J Fifth, from the hairliner to the nose to the lips to the eyes. And I told him, I said, excuse me, he was a FedEx driver. And I was like, excuse me, um, I'm just so sorry, but you look just like my friend that passed away. Can I please take a picture of you? And what's crazy is that I was seeing the numbers of his year all around me, upside down, backwards. I was seeing his year, his birth year, all around me. And I was speaking to him. I was like, Fifth, I know you there. I miss you. I love you too. And he showed himself to me in his older form, not in the form which he left that I knew him in, but his older self came to me and allowed me to see him again. His older self allowed me to take a picture. And then when I was asking him, can I take a picture with him? He was like, better yet, let's take a picture together. And we took a picture together. And even to this day, it brings tears to my eyes because I have awakened in a whole nother realm. And I wonder if there's other people that's out here that's guessing the same thing. If you're guessing the same thing, you're not losing your mind. You are awake. You are awoke. You have opening up doors for yourself where you now know the truth. You know that there is a higher, older you, probably another older you, and yourself. You have a younger you, probably a newborn of you, But you're repeating your life cycle and you're going through these things because you have things to learn, things that you learned in your older life. Now you have things to learn in your younger life. Things that you learned in your younger life, you're going to start to redo, you're going to rebirth yourself again in your next life. And you have to, it's like reminders of your older self that's reminding you that not to do this or not to do that. Sometimes when you get deja vu, you don't get deja vu just because it's just something that just reminded you of something. You get a taste and a feeling of deja vu because you have been there in that same place before in your older self. And I remember running across something because I was running and rambling through YouTube, and I began to search for some things, and I ran across this guy who said that he met his. Oh, I was getting into portals, things about portals, and I ran into this this YouTube of this guy who met his older self, and he said he was just under the sink fixing something that happened underneath the sink, and he ended up somewhere else, and him and his older self have the same tattoo, have the same this, have the same hair, whatever. And he took a picture of him and his older self to bring back with him. And he said, I don't care if people think I'm crazy. You're not crazy. You are 100% on your right life path when you begin to realize that you have more than just you on this earth. Sometimes even when people get married, you have soulmates. They call soulmates because you guys met in your older life. You guys met in your life that you're in now, and you guys will probably meet again even in your younger life, meaning you will always be together. You will always be together. No matter the matter, no matter where you go, no matter how far you go, your your soulmate will always find you. You guys have tapped into a vibration where you guys know who you each other are. You guys would never forget each other. You guys will always remember each other to the end of times. You guys will always find each other. You will always be with that person in your next life, even after the life you're in right now. So I come on to encourage you that you're not crazy. You just have to learn what you need to learn and not make the same mistakes. You're going to keep reincarnating yourself, coming back again, coming back again, coming back again, coming back again. But even when you come back again, you want to remember what you did wrong and you want to be able to fix it. So that way, your younger self, when it is born and it starts to have deja vu, it will get a glimpse of things not to do, what not to do, what not to do, what not to do. And man, it's very powerful. It's very powerful. It's very powerful. When I say it's very powerful, it's very powerful. It's very powerful. Listen, to get in biblical, I believe the prophet Elijah and Moses, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe that it was prophet Elijah. But Elijah came in the form of Abraham. And Abraham and Elijah again prophesied to the people of the coming of Christ, meaning Elijah was within Abraham, meaning he probably looked exactly like Abraham, but just given a different name. And when you think back on it, they said that God had many names. He had many names because he came in different times and he came from oh my God, man, it's so deep. This is deep. The revelation that I'm getting is that God has many names because he has been here before over and over and over again. He has walked the paths of himself over and over again, so he knows all, he's seen all. He was actually able to sink in the knowledge that he learned from his old life from years ago, even from when they crucified him, to now he's in tune with how to even deal with suicidal thoughts. Like, who's to say he ended up coming again, being born again? Oh my God, man, this goes deep. I'm going off track, but it's so much flooding to my head. But who's to say that, when Christ was born again, but Christ, who's to say that Christ was born again so he can't fulfill the same walk, he can't fulfill the same thing? But they say the second coming of Christ. Well, how would there be a second coming of Christ if he died? You know, and God said that, thou cannot re-enter the kingdom of God unless thou is reborn again. So you're not being reborn again in your mother's womb. You're being reborn in another stage of life, in another generation of life. So your older self was born, you were reborn, and here you are now. And then your younger self will be reborn again. And then that is your way of being able to come back into the Lord and being able to go into the house of the Lord. But a lot of people, older self is not deceased. You just have to know that your older self is out there and you're doing right and you're doing what's right. And your younger self will have to learn what you're learning now in your walk until you get it right. And it's very powerful. I don't know who I'm talking to, who needs to hear this, but the saying of you are not alone, you are never alone. Your angels are guiding you. Your angels are there with you. Even your older selves that has been deceased years ago are guiding you. You are being guided by something that you can't see, something that you can't understand, something you may not understand, but you can seek the knowledge. You will gain the knowledge. It will come to you. It will come to you. You're not just out here in the wilderness figuring it out. Like, this is something that last night was a horrible night for me. And I questioned a lot. I even decided to do affirmations and speak positively into the atmosphere and into my surroundings, into my space. And when I dreamed, my dream was so sincere. It was full of things that chase me, not what I chase, but it chases me. And I'm just sitting here, I'm listening to my old songs, and I know that myself probably was, famous in another life, because music is something that sinks to my soul, and it humbles me in so many ways. And a lot of people tell me, you were supposed to be so successful, you're supposed to be famous. And I think, what if that's not my calling? Like, if we're given chance to be reborn, and I was an artist in my older life or past life, then I want to do something different this time in this life. And I want it to be worth doing in this life. A lot of people are gang stalked and by the government, and are being taunted by the government. And that's because you have awakened. You have awakened to the knowledge that they don't want you to know. And when you know that your other self was somebody, and somebody that the government doesn't want to exist, like Jesus, like Dr. CB, you become a dangerous thing. So I'm letting you know, be encouraged. You are great. You are wonderfully made. And you are someone very, very, very important to this world. Awake and awake now. Believe that you are someone very, very important to this world. I encourage you today, be in great courage and have a great day. You're not seeing numbers for no reason. You're not seeing bird feathers for no reason. You're not hearing things for no reason. But take heed that you're so amazing. You have no clue. And in this generation, with everything that we're going through, it will make you feel that you're not great. But you are someone. And it is a pleasure to remind you. I remember, before I get off, I remember having a dream of being with Michelle Obama and being with Oprah Winfrey while they were in the kitchen. And how I got to them was because someone showed me a little tiny glowing little box. And it wasn't a box, it was more of a little pod or something. But it was glowing in many colors, and when they turned it on, it played a tune. Not a song, but a tune. And the tune sent me to Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama. When I got there and I opened the door, they asked, "How did you get here?" And I told them, I said, "I don't know. This man, he was playing a music box, and when he played the music box, I end up here. I don't know." And she smiled. They smiled. They both smiled. And they gently carried me, and I believe it was Oprah, gently carried me back to the same music box that the guy had. And she played it, and it sent me back to my flesh. Now, if I'm crazy, then I'm crazy. But I am not crazy with what I'm telling you and with what I experienced. You are great. And those are one of the two most powerful women here in the world that I was sent to. But they sent me back. They knew I wasn't supposed to be there. But yet, I was there and I saw them. And they questioned me. How did you get here? To me, it's not just a dream. To me, it is me awakening. So you need to awake yourself and wake up. No more doubts. No more doubts. Awaken now. And I told you, you have someone that's telling you, awaken now to your true self, your true being, your true calling. I believe in you. If I don't make it, I believe that you will make it. I'm encouraging you.